What in the motherfuck is up, fam of Liberty and everyone else who's watching this video who's not part of the fam and not following our channel for some inexplicable reason but just stumbled across our shit. It's your new best friend Big Sarge, or the artist formerly known as Admin Tim, founder of the Sons of Liberty. If you're new to our channel, then let me go ahead and get this out of the way because I know I look like MAGA. Fuck Donald Trump, fuck Elon Musk, fuck GOP politicians, fuck the billionaire bourgeoisie. This channel and its comment sections are not a safe space for bootlicking simps for a wish.com oligarch, failed insurrectionist, wannabe authoritarian tyrant, and convicted felon. Now you know where I stand on things, so if you're still here and you're not frantically rage typing into my comments section like some kind of fucking triggered snowflake ass clown, then maybe consider following the channel after you watch this video. Now this was going to be yesterday's video, but I had a couple of bitch-made beta cuck piss babies pop up in my comments, and y'all know your boy Big Sarge will fuck anything that moves, so a couple of souls had to go get butt fucked. Anyway, now that I got that off my chest yesterday, I don't ever have to address it again. So y'all may have noticed that the left-wing media has started sticking their noses so far up Donald Trump's arse that they're looking for polyps. That's a colonoscopy joke, and if you're old like Big Sarge, then this is your reminder to go get screened for colon cancer. You can poop in a box. How great is that? Anyway, it all started after the election when Morning Joe Scarborough went to kiss the ring at Mar-a-Lago and has continued with Chris Cuomo and Jake Tapper shaming the shit out of us for not being outraged enough that a rich motherfucker with more blood on his hands than Osama bin Laden is no longer alive. It's fucking bullshit, and your admin team is mad as hell, and because they're mad as hell, that means that I have to be their voice of rage, just like a lot of you say I'm your voice of anger. Y'all need to be aware that these media turncoats, what they're doing, it's all about the ratings, baby doll. And some of your admin team wonders if they secretly wanted him to win anyway, just because chaos and rage are better for those sweet, sweet advertising dollars than a nice, boring president who's smart and listens to experts and has gifted these dickholes with a great economy. But alas, the price of eggs. Now, Admin Jin pointed out in our admin chat that we've all but abandoned these guys, so they're desperately trying to appeal to viewers that still watch cable news. This apparently limits them to conservative people who probably voted for Trump or people who support his type of policies. Most of the Fourth Estate outlets are owned by rich conservative oligarch bastards, too. And if you're a rich oligarch bastard on any morning after December 4th, you have a vested interest in putting that proletariat back in their place. That's right, Big Sarge knows what the proletariat means. There ain't no bourgeoisie motherfuckers up in here. Yes, that's a monetization dig at the limp dick haters in my comments the other day, thirsting for a Big Sarge butt fucking. These motherfuckers are scared. There's 300 plus million people in this country, and a great many of them are mad as fuck and starting to realize that the people on the other side of the spectrum from them are just the same as them. We're all working hard to keep a roof over our head despite the fact that most homes in America are owned by corporations, but y'all not ready to have that conversation. We're out there working hard just to try to put food on the table, and I know a bunch of conservatives are like, but the price of eggs, but also for meatpacking. Meatpacking. Companies control approximately 85% of the U.S. meat market. Tyson Foods, JBS, Cargill, and National Beef, but y'all not ready to have that conversation either. It's not something that breaks through the news cycle because 6 media companies control 90% of the news. GE, Comcast, News Corp, Disney, Viacom, Time Warner, and CBS. And that's to say nothing of social media tech bro oligarchs that censor and shadow ban certain things like the time that capitalist oligarch Mark Zuckerberg hired that Project 2025 contributor and Republican bootlegger Dustin Kotzmack, who then started shutting down and shadow banning pages that talk about Project 2025. And when I say that Mark Zuckerberg is a capitalist oligarch, that dude is one of the richest people in the US, and his platform, Facebook, routinely suppresses and shadow bans left-leaning pages and content creators. His company, Meta, donated $1 million to Donald Trump's inaugural fund 2 weeks after Zuckerberg went to Mar-a-Lago to dine with Trump. Why would he do this? Because he's a billionaire tech bro, plain and simple. I mean, sure, maybe he was concerned that Trump would make good on threats that he published in a book suggesting that Zuckerberg would spend the rest of his life in prison, but I doubt it since Zuckerberg is richer than Donald Trump and also not a fucking convicted felon, and so he could just leave the country. It's not just Mark Zuckerberg who's getting on his knees in the human centipede line of rich oligarchs who are licking Trump's fascist boots. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and Amazon CEO Andy Jassy, Google CEO Sundar Pichai, Apple CEO Tim Cook, OpenAI Chief Executive Sam Altman, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella. All of them are slobbering their tongues all over pumpkin spice Palpatine's shoes. You know the ones. They have that 3-inch lift so he looks taller. But I digress. I got to tuck in my beard so I don't look as threatening. Not to put too fine a point on things, but we don't necessarily need everyone in this country to go out and body an obscenely wealthy oligarch. I mean, news just broke about some angry grandma who shoved a whole ass pie into the Enron CEO's face in broad daylight on a public street. Is that technically violence? Arguably, in the eyes of the law, I guess. Is it as bad as shooting someone? Nope. Is it embarrassing? Fuck yeah, son, you just got cream pied in the face by an octogenarian. Plus, let's look at the fact that this act of public humiliation, not only is it psychological, but it can inspire other people who aren't motivated by homicide. We talk a big game about punching Nazis, so clearly we're prepared to catch charges for feeding some mother a pie all at once. Can you imagine the security nightmare that becomes? Sure, go ahead. Set up metal detectors at all your entrances. It'll be like schools. But are you going to stop catering those fancy board meetings? Which catering company can you trust? Y'all out there denying care to wage slaves so much that everyone in this country hates you. These people will spit in your food, spike your brownies with X-Lax, pelt you in the face with a milkshake or a pie. Eventually your bitch ass will have to start cooking for yourselves and your executives because you won't be able to trust anyone. And I am here for that psychological warfare that comes from realizing that you are now the most hated people in this country. And believe me, that says a lot considering the utter revulsion that we have for Donald Trump. I'm just saying, if these rich oligarch motherfuckers have to live in as much fear as the rest of us do, the same type of fear a parent does, sending their child to school on what could be their last day if a crazy white boy starts shooting people, the same type of fear people have of workplace violence, then maybe the health insurance industry shouldn't exist. Or maybe it could just overpower the NRA and drive gun control narrative. If you're not fucking useful, then why the fuck are you here? You know these motherfuckers are essentially useless, right? There isn't a single one of them who can't be replaced by someone who's already doing the same thing for a fraction of the salary. Elon Musk, aka Apartheid Andy, went on a whole rant on Twitter about how CEOs are important. But you know why that's a lie? United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was lying cold and dead on a sidewalk in a puddle of his own blood, and people literally stepped around his dead body to continue business as usual. They held their board meeting anyway, and they began the process to replace him the next day. If your CEO is so inconsequential to the success of your company that he can be gunned down in the street like a dog, and it has absolutely zero effect on your company or your industry whatsoever, maybe he doesn't actually need to be paid several hundred times as much as your average median employee. Maybe, just maybe, you could get away with like 10 times as much, 15 if we're being really generous, and then spend the extra tens of millions of dollars that you'd save on something else, like bettering the country and the planet, bettering the lives of other people, paying your people what they're worth, or, hear me out here, or you can continue trying to turn everyone into a peasant serf. And 330 million people are going to remind you how this country got started. Fuck around and fatally find out. Class consciousness is starting to become more of a present concern to the average Joe. Wanted posters of obscenely wealthy health insurance company CEOs have started appearing around big cities, just papered up on telephone poles and walls like it's an indie band doing its first show at the local VFW. That's where we are as a society now. We're slowly ceasing the fighting amongst ourselves and starting to turn on the filthy fucking rich. And these silver spoon motherfuckers are starting to spend big money to beef up their security, but also starting to weaponize anything that they can buy to help drive a culture war narrative. That includes the media. CNN used to be derided for being too liberally slanted. Now a conservative owns it and drives this narrative. They're trying to normalize Trump's rhetoric. The young Turks and Morning Joe are basically becoming bootlicking simps for fascists. Admin V wants me to tell you that she went to school for business and used to believe in no-holds-barred capitalism. She read her economics text and believed that the market could account for ethics because people wouldn't buy or purchase products from unethical companies. She was naive as fuck. Those are her words, not mine. But when she goes out in the real world, she watched her company lay off needed employees because some rich asshole at the top of her management chain wanted to make a bonus. And then when she was doing the job of 3 people for a crappy salary, she was told that she was lucky to even have a job. It's a rude awakening for any idealistic Republican woman in her damn near turned her into a socialist. She's still a capitalist, but she's a capitalist that believes that industries, including the media, need guardrails to function appropriately. When you're watching the motherfucking lamestream news media, remember that they need to sell ad content. They need dramatic events so that Coca-Cola will buy an expensive ad when they show pictures of Donald Trump using American soldiers to deport American citizens and their non-citizen parents. And when they get those dramatic images of the concentration camps that they plan to put them in. And they need access to the people who are making those decisions so that they can get those good quotes and tip-offs when news happens. They could also be cowards who are afraid of being thrown in Gitmo for reporting anti-Trump news. Yellow-bellied punk bitches need to have the courage of their convictions, but it's probably the money that makes them cuck themselves on public television. Pay attention to the guests that they have on their shows. If they're having Republican politicians and Trump stand-ins, that matters. That's telling you something about the direction the channel is going and who they're aiming their news coverage at. They're going to try and legitimize what is going to happen. They're going to try to treat it as normal. They're going to try to act as if everything is fine whilst we're all on fire. That's fucking bullshit, and we all know it. You need to remember this, and we plan to repeat it over and over and over again. Your admin team is doing this shit in our free time. None of the platforms want to monetize us because we aren't sanitizing our opinions for anything. It's our plan to spend the next 4 years telling you the motherfucking truth, even when it hurts. If there are others like us out there on the internet and you need to find them and listen, then do it. I'm going to continue doing this in my own bombastic, profane style, so I'm probably not going to get invited to any more Vote Vets events. People like Tennessee Brando and John Bridevo and Texas Paul and the Midas Network, they're probably not going to want to work with me because I fucking swear a lot and I'm really fucking angry and I don't take any fucking prisoners and I will cut a bitch that needs to be bitch cut. The rest of my admin team is pretty much the same as me, but a little less profane and probably not as horny as me. That's probably going to have to go in the outtakes, to be honest with you. Now, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to leave it. Anyway, the point is that there are others like us out there on the internet, so you should go find them and give them a listen too. When we get shut down on one platform, remember this past fall when we had to start a new Facebook page? We got back up on all the other platforms. Stick with us, fam. And that doesn't just mean follow us blindly either. Every independent media needs to be viewed critically. One of the most disappointing media events to unfold this year has been having to watch Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian. I'm probably mispronouncing them, but I don't fucking watch them because why the fuck would I? Anyway, they're the hosts of the Young Turks. They're slowly turning more and more right-wing until they finally turn into anti-trans, anti-woke, whatever the hell that means. Fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene apologists. And that's the Young Turks, or TYT. At one point, they were the largest independent progressive network in America. Admin Doug literally called them his mentors, and now Mayor Mondale Robinson quit live on the air during an interview on the Benjamin Dixon show because his conscience couldn't take the bullshit a single second longer. So yeah, stick with us because we don't take money from evil corporations. We don't take money from anybody. I would love to get paid to do this shit, but I don't. Anyway, apparently taking money from corporations is a good enough reason for some people, but we do it so that we can prove to you exactly whose side we're on and exactly what we stand for. Also, you need to read commentary that's coming from outside the country. We're big fans of BBC, and I realize that me saying BBC probably sounds like innuendo, and it probably is not. Anyway, we're big fans of that outlet because they don't benefit from those sweet American ad dollars. They tend to explain without bias. Admin V also loves Josh Johnson and The Daily Show because they at least acknowledge the fucking absurdity of what is happening. They don't fucking pretend that RFK Jr. is an actual legitimate candidate for Secretary of Health and Human Services. If you're quiet and listen, you can hear Admin V screaming in anger about that particular nomination. Admin Doug did a piece on the mainstream media a couple of weeks ago. He told you to be vigilant and to pay attention and to remember that they're fucking biased. This is another reminder. Follow the fucking money. That's a very real thing. Think about it. Who has a metric fuck ton of money and is now on Trump's staff? Why would all these media outlets suddenly start sliding to the right? Maybe it's fear because they know when Trump is in office, he's going to start settling scores. But maybe also consider the very real possibility that these motherfuckers just sold their souls for some of Elon Musk's money. I mean, think about it. Who benefits? Why do they benefit? And what does that mean to me? Think critically, fam. We're smarter than them. We just have to think it through. We can see beyond their next move to what will happen as a result of their actions. We're playing chess and they're playing checkers, and they're not even really that good at it. If there's one thing to feel heartened about, it's that they're as bad at this as it seems like they are. But we cannot let our guard down because they'll try to slide things under the radar of some mainstream media story. Pay attention. Think critically. Stick with us, join us on our platforms, and we'll get through this together. Or you know what? Don't join us, but go join some other group that you do trust. There are a lot of other independent, fact-based leftists and progressives and liberals out there doing their thing with less profanity. If you do decide to choose us, then welcome to the fucking resistance, fam. Population U. Obligatory disclaimers. I'm going to talk about the Sons of Liberty merch store first. If you like the shirts or the hoodie that I wear in my videos, some of them, but not all of them, are available in the Sons of Liberty merch store, which is listed in the link tree on our TikTok and YouTube channel description. On YouTube, it's also in the video description. New merch goes up all the time, and thank you to the small amount of artists who've contributed their own work to the cause. Also, thank you to the dummies who cry about it all the time, making me want to talk about it even more. How'd that fucking work out for you? Now, where was I? Oh yes, the resistance starts with us. To that end, we've begun organizing local Sons of Liberty chapters by region. Please do not ask in the comment section if we have chapters in such and such states. Get on Discord, because rule number 1 of Sons of Liberty Fight Club is we don't talk about Sons of Liberty Fight Club. You want to know how we're being activists? You want to join the movement? You want to look past Big Sarge selling shirts instead of talking about your single issue niche interest? You want to know what we're doing? We're doing all of the things on the Sons of Liberty Discord server, because social media oligarchs like Apartheid Andy and Mark Zuckerberg can't deplatform us, can't mute or censor our content. It's also about OPSEC. On Discord, you can hang out with the Sons of Liberty admin team and the rest of the fam of Liberty who've made it onto our server. Discord isn't just a chat platform. We have sections for gamers. We have sections for region sections with helpful resources. You can learn about self-defense. You can learn about firearms. You can talk about firearms and not get demonetized. Oh, can't stop talking about that, can I? Learn about home defense, learn about martial arts, hand-to-hand combat, things like that. There's a channel for veterans. You can get updates from all of our social media. I do want to point out that our Discord can be ping heavy, but you can deactivate those. I've got a whole ass YouTube tutorial about the Sons of Liberty Discord server. So if you need assistance, watch the video. If you still need assistance, let us know. The link to Discord is in the throat punch at the end of the video. It's in the YouTube video description, and then the TikTok and YouTube channel descriptions. If you like our video content, then we'd appreciate it if you'd follow us on all of the other socials, whichever ones that you've got. The various socials that we have are listed in the throat punch at the end of all of our videos, and the link tree, which can be found on our channel descriptions. On YouTube and TikTok, we'd also appreciate it if you'd subscribe, like, and get notifications on our channel. A little bit of a different process on TikTok, but if you're on TikTok, then you already know that. Also, fuck TikTok. I'm gonna stop posting shit there because I'm tired of them taking down our shit or muting our content. You can help us extend our reach by sharing our video content on all of your socials. You can help us beat the algorithm by leaving us at least 7 words in the comment section. Why 7 words, you might ask? Because 7 words is the magic number for the algorithm to decide that your engagement on our content is meaningful and that it should therefore suggest our videos and our channel to people who watch the same things that you watch. By the way, that algorithm works on most social media platforms, so be cognizant of that on other places where you support your favorite content creators, like me and Doug and V and Elo and Jen and Matt. And if you make it to the end of a video and you can't think of anything to leave in the comments section, I made it to the end. Big Sarge is 8 words, so there's a suggestion for you. 2 claps and a rick. Guillotines aren't just for oligarchs, they're also for media turncoats. Woo! And now, guess what time it is?
And now it's time for the throw punch!
To Donald Trump's inaugural fund 2 weeks after Zuckerberg went to Mar-a-Lago. What the fuck?